Yes, we're good to go.
Okay, great. So, hello everyone, and welcome to yet another one of our exciting career guidance webinars brought to you by Thrive Aid. Now, my name is Priscilla Jolwe Muyamba, and I'll be your moderator for today's webinar. Now, if you're just joining us for the first time, or maybe you don't know that much about Thrive Aid and what we do, basically, we are a youth-focused nonprofit organization, and we work around three main thematic areas. So that's education, that's mentorship, and mental health. Now, our mission as Thrive Aid is to aid young people in actualizing their potential and also capitalizing on their abilities to achieve success. Now, as Thrive Aid, we don't just talk, but we believe in taking action. And so, one of the initiatives that we've taken to achieve our mission is hosting career guidance webinars such as this one, where we get to invite various skilled professionals just to share, insights about their line of work, what they do, and also how they got to a certain point in their career. Now, remember, this webinar is not only for students or young people. You could invite your guardians, parents, or just anyone who's interested in exploring a different career path. Now, without further ado, I'll proceed to introduce our guest speaker for today. Her name is Ketty Kabaso, and she is the Education Outreach Coordinator at the Embassy of the United States right here in Lusaka, Zambia. Now, before I allow her to introduce herself, remember, I did mention that as Thrive Aid, we don't just talk, but we believe in taking action. And so, amongst many of the activities that we do, we also work with three establishments in Lusaka. That is Kalikiliki Community School, John Howard Community School, and Fountain of Hope Orphanage. And all these are based in Lusaka. So today we are privileged to have some of the students and young people join us in this webinar. Now, what I'll ask from the people or the individuals managing these watch parties is that if you're able to position your cameras in such a way that we will be able to see the students who are participating. So that's John Howard, Kalikiliki, and Fountain of Hope. Are you able to just turn on your cameras and just show us the people who are participating today in this webinar? Lovely. I see Mwenya. Hi. So Mwenya, where are you? And I would like to hear the voice of the students. Mwenya, are you able to hear me? Can you guys hear me? Mwenya, your mic is muted.
Can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay, so
sorry,
I see.
we forgot to unmute the mic. So
Great.
we just want to say thank you for the opportunity. We're in John Howard Community School. Can everybody just wave?
Hello. Lovely, great. Thank you so much. Over to Fountain of Hope. Are you there?
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay, and then now let's move to Kalikiliki Community School. Are you guys there?
Yeah.
Lovely. This is wonderful. Good to see you here. Great. And now, Ketty, without further ado, our topic of discussion today is unlocking scholarship opportunities. And that is why we are privileged to have Ketty Kabaso join us in this webinar and just share insights about her line of work and also her expertise around scholarships. So Ketty, welcome to this month's Career Guidance webinar.
Hi, everyone. Hi, guys. And hi, Priscilla. Thank you, everyone. Mwenya, O'Brien, everyone, thank you so much for hosting me. I'm excited to be interacting with you today. And ask me as many questions as you can. I hope after this, you guys will be well ahead and equipped to go and find those scholarships. So thank you so much for hosting me.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ketty. Now, are you able to just give us a brief introduction of yourself and also just give us a brief background, around your expertise in scholarships?
Okay, so I have been working in the education sector for the past 8 years. I started with the Ministry of Education Zambia, and now I am the Education and Outreach Coordinator here at the US Embassy. I work mostly with students just like you who want to go and study in the United States. So giving them information and resources about scholarships in the US and how they can go about studying in the USA. I worked as a teacher at some point, so I always love interacting with students. I think you guys are very close to my heart. And when I was told to come and talk to you this today, I was very excited because I always jump at an opportunity to help young Zambians, push their education forward, because the world is waiting for you guys. And I have that information to help you guys to come and make Zambia even great. So I have a background in education, and I've been working in the education sector for the past 8 years. And here at the US Embassy, I work closely with the Department of State, which is one of the departments in the US government that works with people-to-people relations. So my work involves bringing the people of Zambia and the people of America together, especially in education-related projects. That's in brief about what I do.
Thank you so much for that, Ketty. Now, remember, if you're just joining us and you feel that there's someone who would benefit from this session today, please do share the link with them so that they can join and be part of this wonderful session. If at all, at a point you have questions, remarks or comments, please drop them in the chat box and I'll be able to read them out. For the people at the watch parties, if there is a question amongst the students, please just drop me a text in the chat box and I'll be able to attend to your question or your comment at a point. Now, Ketty, let's get into this conversation. Are you able to just highlight for us the different types of scholarships that are there and some of their characteristics?
Yes, sure. Before I go on, I want to know what grades or what ages I'll be talking to so I can know what language to use. Yeah, so if you can give me a heads up on the age range or the grades that I'll be talking to.
Awesome. Mwenya, are you able to answer that question?
Hi. So right here in John Howard, we have grade 8s and partially grade 9s also.
Okay. And Kalikiliki? Hi, do we know the grades that we're dealing with today, the students at Kalikiliki? Mwenya, if you're able to answer as well, just go ahead.
Okay, it's fine if we are unable to get the grades. I'll just try to do a mix of everything. So there are different types of scholarships, really. They're what are known as full ride scholarships. They are what are known as partial scholarships. So a scholarship is when an organization, an institution, or a government is helping you to pay for your studies. Now, a lot of Zambian students study at scholarships, either in high school, in secondary school, or in university. So there are different types of scholarships. They are what are known as full ride scholarships, where everything is paid for. They will pay for your tuition fees. This is your school fees. They will help you with a book allowance, meaning they can help you to cover, they can help you to cover other expenses related to your studies, that is books, pens, bags, things like that. And then there's a partial scholarship where an organization or a government can say, we're only going to cover your school fees, or we're only going to buy you some books, or we'll be giving you some money for your monthly expenses. Now, the scholarships they are merit-based scholarships, meaning that they're looking for people who are academically gifted. So you guys, you need to be studying so that you can get good results and compete for the merit-based scholarships. Then there are also need-based scholarships. So there are some organizations that will just come, I think, and also I would like to find out if everyone is very fluent in English. I can be mixing English and Nyanja just in case there are people who are not very fluent, because I am fluent in English, in Nyanja and Bemba, so I'll be mixing for you guys. So yeah, there's some people would say, okay, I think this person comes from a humble community, so we are going to pay 100% for their studies. And then there are some who can say, I think wow, my school fees, so tizam gudako chen sapato, olo tizamo gudako chen ma book, you know, there are things like that. So those are the types of scholarships available. So we have the merit-based scholarship. If they're looking for people who are very good in academics, like Wafuna Bantu on merit, you need to get good results. But of course, there are also other scholarships that look at special talents. So scholarships like those who are in sports. There are some people who are very good, maybe are good in soccer, you're good in basketball, you're good in track, meaning you can run very well. So some institutions will want people who are gifted in those talents. So they are going to recognize a talent, and those are going to be categorized in different groups. Those are special scholarships. Or maybe you're good in biology, you're good in sciences, and there's an organization that is sponsoring people who are good in sciences, and so they're going to recognize you. So there are different types of scholarships. Some of them are special scholarships. Then we have the need-based scholarships, the merit-based scholarships. We have the partial scholarships, and then we also have the full ride scholarships. Okay. So those are the scholarships, Priscilla.
Lovely, thank you so much. So let me just read out to you. So we have grade 9, 10, 11, and 12, and school leavers for the watch parties. So just to answer the question that you had asked earlier.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Okay. Now, I remember there was a time just after I completed grade 12, I wanted to apply for a scholarship. And so I was so excited about my results that I didn't think of what steps I needed to take or the procedure that I needed to take to apply for a scholarship. I just wrote a letter, attached my, shiny results, and then dropped them off, and I was feeling fulfilled. But then later on, I got to realize that my application was not even considered because I did not follow the steps that I needed to. So now, which brings me to the next question. What steps or what procedure does one need to take if they want to apply for a scholarship?
Okay, so I'm going to talk about different types of scholarships. Of course, at the American Embassy, there are different steps, which I'll also mention. But the first thing to getting a scholarship is you guys need to work hard. I always emphasize on students working hard. It doesn't matter where you're coming from. It doesn't matter where you live or where you go to school. You have to work hard. For people to recognize you, you have to really, really work hard. Where you come from does not define you. So it doesn't matter whether you come from Kalikidiki, whether you come from an orphanage or a home, where you come from an affluent neighborhood, utoka kumayadi, ndo wamkomboni, kwa Mpibema Laiti. The number one thing is hard work. It does not matter where you come from. If you work hard, people are going to recognize you. People are going to want to invest in you. There's no room in the world for feeling pity for yourself. It doesn't work like that. You have to work hard. Vantu pokupasa ndalama, they should know that this money is going to yield some results. Why bakupasa ndalama? It's because they have seen uyumwana, if we invest in this child, at some point, azaka bwelo tandiza wanzake. when you look at the communities where you guys are coming from, people should recognize there should be something special. Did you hear the types of scholarships I was talking about? Merit-based scholarships. These are scholarships that are just given to students who work hard. So the number one thing is work hard and do improvements on your grades. I'm not saying pakache ukasichoka number one class, get 6 points or get how many points, whatever points you need to get at your grade. I'm just saying you need to put in some effort so that when people push you a little bit, they can get some investment out of that money, okay? Just imagine although you had money and you want to give someone. The one who wants to use it will, right? So the number one thing to getting a scholarship or applying for a scholarship is working hard, getting good grades. And then number two is researching where the organizations that help with scholarships. For instance, we have our Education USA office here at the US Embassy. Our scholarships are mostly for people who are going to university. If you guys work very hard, start from your grades, whatever grade you're in, either in grade 8, grade 9, just push and have a vision in it. Like university yako America. You start investing at that time. There are organizations that are giving you information like Thrive Aid. Stick very close to them. And then research about other universities like Camfed, about other organizations like Camfed, Faweza, that give scholarships to students in high school. But then at the American Embassy, we give scholarships to students who are going to study at university and not the ones in high school. So the number one step is working hard. Number two step is finding the institutions that offer scholarships. I've already mentioned grades 8 to grade 12. There's Camfed, there's Faweza, there's Kuchetekela Foundation. All those institutions give scholarships. And there's also the Churches Association of Zambia. And then when you're going to university, you can come to Education USA here at the American Embassy. When you come to me, hey, Miss Ketty, I was in this meeting maybe 5 years ago when you are presenting to us. I want to help you guys go and study in the USA and get these scholarships. I also want to share that when I was in grade 10 to grade 12, I used to be at Monali Girls High School. I came from a very humble community. My parents couldn't even manage to pay for my tuition fees. But because I was one of the most intelligent girls in my class, the school recognized me. You know, when they're chasing people, hey, I'm not going to play school fees, I don't know if they are still chasing students in class, but they would check us out. And I was among the students who was being sponsored by Faweza. And so I worked very hard, and the teachers at my school recognized my talent. Say, this girl is very bright. Even if her parents can afford to send her to school, or maybe they are lacking at this time, let's find a way to help her. And so they put me on a list of students who are being sponsored by Faweza. And Faweza paid for me from grade 10 up to grade 12 when I graduated. When I graduated, I got very good results and went to UNZA, also on a government bursary. So in my life, I've never had to pay for my school because I've worked hard. And the number one thing is you guys study hard and work hard. So those are the steps.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. I'm always
free to stop me when I'm talking too much. I can tend to just go overboard. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. I always tell my young siblings that, they're always worried about, okay, how are we going to pay our school fees when we complete grade 12? But I'm like, the first step is work hard and get good grades. You never know what will happen in the future. Exactly. So now, apart from... Sorry, I think you are lagging behind. The network is quite bad. You were saying? Hello, are you able to repeat what you said?
I was saying it's easier to ask people, hey, I got this good grades, my exams. People always find it easier to help those who have passed than those who are going to repeat a grade. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so now, after maybe you've identified what scholarship you want to apply for, depending on the types of scholarships you've mentioned a lot, what are the at least necessary documents you need to have for you to apply for a scholarship?
So the number one document definitely is your high school results, especially if you're applying for a scholarship that you're going to use to go to university. And if you're applying for scholarships in high school, like wherever you are, definitely your test results, your end of term tests, or grade 9 results, because people need to see the type of students that they're assessing. So they'll look at your transcripts, that is your results, and then they will look at what other special talents do you have. So are you in soccer? Are you helping your community? What are you doing? Do you have any leadership potential? Are you volunteering? So you guys are at a good age to start volunteering activities. You see how you're benefiting from Thrive AIDS. There's this organization that is helping you guys. You can also start helping out where you are. There are some of you in class, maybe you're very good in this particular subject, you're good in English. Start volunteering, helping your fellow students to learn how to speak English. There are some of you, maybe you live in a community where there's so many other social ills that you can help out. Do that. You can be involved in your community ku church, maybe muma groups ya ku church. You can be groups ya ku school, because when people are looking to give you a scholarship, they will not just look at your academics. Okay, and my results ya bwanje, naja my points ya ngati. But they'll also look at ni muntu wa bwanji. Is this someone who can help? Is this someone who can lead? Does this person have a potential to be a leader? Does this person help in their community? Because the idea is that you guys we always say that you are the leaders of tomorrow, right? So do they see a leader in you to lead us tomorrow? Because you guys will be the next presidents, you'll be the next ministers, you'll be the next lawyers, the next teachers. Some of you will even be in this position that I'm in now. So the people need to start seeing that talent in you right now. So some of the things they'll look at are, I'll mention them again, your results, and then they'll look at your involvement in the community. So you guys need to be involved in your community, the involvement in your school. Are you involved in any activities apart from going to class? Are you involved in sports? Are you involved in drama? Are you involved in any clubs? What are your hobbies? What are you doing about them? So even when you are at school or in your community, it's very important to be involved, to be active. Which apart from kubelenga, strike a balance. You are going to class, but you're also striking a balance. So they'll look at those things.
Okay, awesome. Great. Thank you so much for that. And now remember, to all those who are tuned in, if you have any questions, comments or remarks, please type them in the chat box and I'll be able to attend to them. If there's something that you actually want to say, you could also let me know in the chat box and I'll give you some time to say something. We have watch parties today. We've mentioned John Howard, Kalikiliki, and Fountain of Hope. So we want to feel your presence in today's webinar. So if there's a question from one of the students, one of the young people, you could let me know in the chat box and I'll give them some time to speak and ask their questions. So I am expecting a number of questions, because even before this, I noticed a lot of people were excited and they had a lot of questions that they wanted to ask. So please, let's keep this participatory. Now, back to you, Ketty. You've mentioned the types of scholarships. You've mentioned some of them as special talent scholarships, where if you play basketball, if you play football, you could be given a scholarship. But apart from that, does one need to be in any particular activity apart from what you've mentioned, or program, such as do I need to be a volunteer for something, or do I need to, what other sports would I land a scholarship with apart from basketball or football and so on and so forth to obtain a scholarship?
Yeah, so most organizations that give scholarships or scholarships to the United States are free. And they don't just look at a certain criteria. They look at you as a holistic human being. So different things apply to different people. They want to recognize you as a person. They want to, because every person is unique, even where you are seated in the watch parties, when you just look around, you find that what the person you're seated next to, I can see the girls who are leaning in the chairs, they are like, everyone is different. When you look at your interests, you look at your talents, everyone is so different. So even the universities have that thing. They'll look at students as having different talents. So they do not have a specific sport that they will support over another one, or they do not have a specific hobby or a special talent. You just need to find the right organization or the right university looking for a certain type of student. So some universities, especially for scholarships in universities, some universities are very big, like Kuma universities in Kwambola. So they will only sponsor those people who are interested in soccer. Okukwinango Kuma University, va bola Steve Konda, said Konda va music. So they will look at people who are in music. Some of them will say, it's a ball and a music simaningi tifna never swimming. So some will say, okay, people who are hairdressers, who are very good in fashion, who are very good manga sisi, benango is in basketball. Benango okay say I'm a talent stay at akonzelu tifna chabe bantu baziva science. So they'll be focusing on science. Some of them will just say, it's a vivon, say visti kakonzelu tifna chabe bantu bamnafuna church, like my religious studies or history or things like that. So universities will look at an individual holistically, because even per my school or my organization, they just don't want to have a specific thing. They want what is known as diversity. So you have people with different talents, different hobbies, different interests for the benefit of that organization or that university. So they'll look at all these other elements. So it doesn't matter. Whatever you're interested in, just be good at it. There's probably an institution or a university somewhere that is supporting what you want. If you like it, it means there are also other people who can like it. Yeah. So it's just a whole different range.
Okay, awesome. Now, let's say fine, I've decided I want to apply for a scholarship. Where do I begin? What platforms can I use to find scholarships? Do I come to your office and say, hey, I need a scholarship? Or what platforms would you recommend for someone who's in search for scholarships?
So if you're looking for university scholarships, yes, and scholarships in the US, you can start with our Education USA Center. So we have a website. It's called educationusa.state.gov. So I'm going to type it in the chat for you, and those in the watch party, someone can write it down for you. So it's called educationusa.state.gov or .state.gov. So you can start with that website and read what are known as the 5 steps to study in the USA. So those are like our guidelines, the 5 steps to study in the USA. Those are the guidelines to studying in the US, and they will help you. So especially those of you who are in grade 10, grade 11, and grade 12, that's a very good time to start looking at those and just navigating the website. That's the very first place to start from. In the USA, we have over 4,000 universities. So even if all of us who are on this call right now, the watch party in Kalikiliki, the other one at Fountain of Hope, all of us had to apply to one institution. There'll still be so many remaining for students to apply to them. So those are some of the research. That is the first step that you can take. You can also visit our website. We have what are known as American Corners. Especially those of you at Fountain of Hope, you are very close to our American Corner. We have an American Corner at NIPA. It's a library. It's inside the NIPA main library. So that American Corner, the American Corners have books. They have computers there. They also have a lot of programs that happen for young people. And all these programs are free of charge. let's say you want to study or you want to research using the internet, you can use our American Corners. They are free of charge. All you have to do is go and register to be a member, and registration is free. So we have 3 American Corners in Zambia. We have the American Corner at NIPA, we have the American Corner at CBU, and we have an American Corner right here at the US Embassy. So if you guys are looking at having a space to study, want to read some books, or want to use the computers and internet, you can use our American Corners. They are free of charge. You don't have to pay for anything.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Ketty. Now I can see some questions coming in the chat box. We've got O'Brien who is asking, what are the requirements for postgraduate study? And yes, I think I did forget to mention that. I noticed we also have some undergraduate or university students here. So obviously they are looking to postgraduate studies. So Brian is asking, what are the requirements for postgraduate studies, or are there even scholarships for postgraduate studies?
Yes, definitely. There are scholarships for postgraduate studies. We have the our Education USA website that also has a section for postgraduate studies. So the same section, the same website I referred to, you can use it to research on postgraduate studies. But the main requirement for a postgraduate study is an undergraduate degree. So you should have a bachelor's degree if you're looking at pursuing a master's or a PhD. So if you're looking at a PhD, you should have a master's. If you're looking at a master's, you should have a bachelor's. So there are so many different types of financial aid for postgraduate studies. We have the assistantships, we have the fellowships, we have the grants, and we also have the scholarships. So yeah, there are also opportunities for postgraduate studies.
Okay. All right, now there's another question. It's very short, but I'm sure you'll be able to answer it. This is from Tabith Namushi, and I think she's curious to say, are applications open? So I'm sure what she's asking is that, are there any scholarship opportunities right now that someone can apply for?
So what happens, that's why I'm saying for those of you who are in grade 9, grade 10, grade 11, grade 12, this is the right time to start learning the process. US applications are so different from our Zambian applications. When I was applying to go to UNZA, I always say this, I just got my application form, I bought at UNZA, and then I attached my grade 12 results, and that was it. For US applications, there are so many things that are involved. You need to prepare your documents. Number one, like I said, your grade 12 results. But before that, you can also take a standardized test known as an SAT. And then you need recommendation letters. That's why you remember I talked about when you're in school, you need to be active. Because when you're applying for a scholarship in the US, the university you're applying to will ask you, who was your guidance and counseling teacher? Go and get a recommendation from your guidance teacher. But teacher wako balembe uyu muntu eze waso mu skulu, ezo chita participate mu ma clubs, ezo choka number 1 mu drama, ezo choka bwanj, like everything that you are involved in, the university will require you to have that in a recommendation letter. Apart from that, you also need another recommendation letter. So you need 2 recommendation letters. Another recommendation letter from your subject teacher. So a teacher come class, especially in a class teacher, uyum class is a 1 day or is a wachongo, or lokapena uyum class is a konzelu, is a chuka number 1, is a chita participate, is a tandiza ma teacher. Maybe if you even had a position at school, or you as a prefect, or you as a class monitress, or you as a chita branch. So in the schools where you are, start getting involved. Olowa teacher kambako nifuna working up a board, go and grab the board. Baka kambako okay tifuna ko wachitako volunteer kuma sports mwaenda, kuma club mwaenda, osa tawa ku school. Because when it's time for applications, the teachers will write that. I can see some people smiling. When my noise maker, right? I can see there, those in blue, you are pointing at someone behind. Yeah? So yeah, those are some of the things to prepare before. So applications usually open on the 1st of August. You can start applying for scholarships on the 1st of August. But before 1st August, we are preparing all this documentation. So for those of you in grade 10, grade 11, and 12, this is a good time for you to start understanding the process, so that by the time you're applying, when you're in your gap year, you know, in Zambia, we have that one gap year when you just write your grade 12 and you're waiting for your results to come out. So that time we use it now to just prepare for the applications. But applications open on the 1st of August every year. So someone is asking, how can they access the American Corner from Kalikiliki? So Kalikiliki is which one? The one that's close to Mtendere, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so for those of you in Kalikiliki, we have an American Corner here at the American Embassy, but it is very difficult to come in because there's security. So I would recommend that you attend the one you go and see the one, you visit the one at NIPA. But if you feel like this one at the American Embassy is easy, we can arrange with Thrive Ed, Melody, Priscilla, and the team. We can arrange a visit for you guys to come and see what is here at the American Corner here at the embassy. And then if you want, then you can, if you like it, then you can be motivated to go to the one at NIPA. So Priscilla, let's organize a visit for the students in Kalikiliki. It's very close by. One of the times they can come and visit the American Corner, right?
Also, definitely, I'm sure they'll really be excited to be a part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Now, thank you so much for that insight. I hope the noisemakers have questions. Those who are laughing and smiling, I need questions from you people, because we need you to participate, because she is here for all of us. She is here for you. And now, Ketty, what are some of the common mistakes that you notice students making when applying for scholarships?
Mostly is students copying other students. Like there's someone who got a scholarship, and then you start copying what they wrote, what they did, just because they got that scholarship. Like I've mentioned before, like I've mentioned that when they're looking at you, they're not looking at your friend. Each school is looking for a different thing. And there's one thing that only you have. There's that uniqueness that God created you with, that only you have. If I ask each one of you, like Iwakonda Chan, some of you will say, oh, in Nkonda music, but also Nikonda maybe my movies. Ukonda my movies ya bunch. Kulibe aina ma abilities ya mneuli nayo. Iwe when mulungu anakupanga, you are just alone, very unique. So don't copy your friends. Don't copy, oh, ndani anapasa because ezochitava so. Iwe naye unava mne vina kupangira mulungu vako weka, na path ya mena kulembera mulungu yako weka. Na my experiences mwonekera different pamenso mukarangana na manja yanu, ma fingerprints yanu yali different. Even the universities want you, they want that unique ability that only you have. So do not copy from your friends. You can learn from your friends, but don't copy from them, because sometimes students, when they're applying for a scholarship, they'll even get that same scholarship. I mean, the application yonse kuikopolola chabe. Jebe tumakamba tikopera na nzeru. Noti ungokopolola chape vonse munga ndio chape chikopo. Ukopera che na nzeru, right? You only get inspired, get ideas. And then another mistake that students make is that not having the right documents. So when you're applying for a scholarship, ensure that you have a good research, you check the documents that are required, and have those documents in place. So munga imwe apanakuza ni still in school. When you're applying for scholarships in the US, start keeping your grade 9 results, start keeping your grade 8 results. Noti muka komboka kuskulu ngati mnalemba na test just because unafelu kawataya. No. Start keeping those transcripts, because when it's time to apply to study in the US, they will ask for some of your results. My results I'm grade 9 yadikut. My results I'm grade 10 yadikut. I'm grade 11, I'm grade 12. When chimnataya ulakapuna mnajela hapo pa my results hapo. Don't do that. So have your documents in place, and then do not follow what other people have done. You have your own set of abilities, you have your own destiny, so work in that line.
Okay, thank you so much for that. And I like that you've mentioned the issue of copying someone else's application or whatever they wrote in there, you paste it on your own. Now, which reminds me of something. I mean, we live in a digital world where technology keeps advancing each and every day. And nowadays, even just on our phones, you can just type in something, how to write an application for what, and they'll bring you like a whole script, of an application. And sometimes people will just copy that and paste it in their application. So now, with regards to things like artificial intelligence, we've got ChatGPT and whatnot. Is that also a problem where someone just copies something they got from the internet and decides to put it in the application?
Yes, that's a very big problem. Actually, we've had that problem in the past few years. And every time a student has used ChatGPT or AI, when we just look at their application, don't even waste time on it. Because the same questions, like if you're writing an essay, sometimes the scholarships will ask you to write an essay, write about any challenge in your life and how you overcame that challenge, or write about any meaningful experience in your life where you've learned anything. Then mundu and the chepa internet see no how to write experiences in my life. Firstly, does that AI know address ya kwanu? It doesn't know it. Because when you're writing on your own, upasa tupatu nukukalikiliki pa D122 olon road pa kona paso ukakoneka poinda kwatu apa pa ikantemba apa pa nemba nyumba nya green apa nya blue ukakoneka after chimtengo cha mango nje pa nyumba patu. But if you're just using AI will just say lives in Kalikiliki. It won't have that personal information. So when someone is even reading your essays, they'll just see like if you've not a robot, it will just be the basic thing. But we want to know you as a person. We want to know where you came from. Like you've seen, talking to me, I've already told you I went to Manali Girls High School. If you just asked how to talk about scholarships, you won't have those personal touches, like things that someone has experienced. And then what the universities do, they have technology that is able to detect vintu vemnachosapa internet. So once it just comes in, we'll be able to detect what you got from the internet. So when we just put it on the computer, it will just show, okay, if it in red, by internet, or these in red were used, we used AI. So there's detectors like that. And even the questions that the prompts that should be asked, the same people or admissions officers or people like me, we are also going to put them in ChatGPT and say, this is a question we have, we put it in ChatGPT. So that response it's going to give us, or the different responses, we'll have an idea. Every time we come across such a response, then we know this came from AI. Because even us, to just be alert, we're going to put it into that system, and then we'll get the responses. And every time we find a student, we don't even look twice. We just say, let's see side, let's see one side. But you can use it maybe to proofread, to check for spellings and things like that, but not to write for you. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for that clarification. And I hope Mwambela Oko don't get things from the internet and put them in your application just like that. So now let's move on. If there are any questions or comments, please put them in the chat box so that we can be able to attend to them while she is still here. This is a very busy person, so once again,
about 10 minutes.
Exactly. All right. So let's proceed. And now, what would you say are some of the good writing tips that you can recommend? Because obviously you've told us we need to write obviously authentically from ourselves. So apart from that, what are some of the good writing tips that you could recommend when writing an application or an essay for an application?
Okay, yeah. So number one is firstly, when you have understand what you are being asked to write about. So what is it that you are writing? Who are you writing to? So those are some of the things. If you're writing an essay, what are you being asked to write about? If let's say you're asked a question, okay, tell us about where you come from. There are so many ways you can write about where you come from, right? You can talk about your childhood memories and then talk about things that helped you be where you are, right? For instance, I would talk about where I grew up, some of the experiences that have built me into who I am, some of the challenges I faced, and how I overcame that challenge. The universities want to know you, or the people giving you scholarships, when they're asking you to write about essays, they don't want to hear things like, oh, isetezuchiriza, ise paskulu stezomvera tezovutisa maticha, or ise ndiseteze backbencher, ise tezopasa mazina, you know, things like that. They want to know the good things about you, the things that make you stand out. Of course, you can talk about how you used to have fun, but not those bad things, you know. Talk about if you came from, like, having a good story is nice. Those of you who are already coming from schools like Kalikiliki itself, you're different from the students who are coming from maybe Lusaka International Community School. If you pass and you're coming from such a school, you already know that the system itself is already putting you up for failure, because the classes you're learning from are different. A computer, you know, things like that. You have to struggle, maybe a lot in your class. So if you make it already from that type of environment, you're already an outstanding student. So tell them about all those experiences that you had. If you're coming from a home where Kwibena Malaiti, you talk about how in your life you've always had to work hard, because olikuwa tukwezebe malaiti but inenezoe mbelenga mkendo olomzuba ku school unaenda ku library. Such stories to captivate the people who are reading. So number one, know what you're being asked to write, what information they are looking for. Number two, write your work in order. It should be organized. Not we ine pamene ninalemba grade 12 na bwana enda grade 1. You know, those kind of things. When the first paper was grade 12, then manje waleta story am grade 2, then waenda am grade 10. Start we ambira kuti grade 1, grade 2, yenda che pama stages like that. So have your work organized in order. Number two, proofread your work. At least have the work grammatically written. Notice Viveka, whether no, she go, she come, she do what, Chizungu chaba mushe nicely grammatically written work. If you know you're not very good in English, when you write your first draft, wapasako mzako berengako. Akaberengako, there are always people available to help you, people like me, people like the team from Thrive Ed, people like your teachers. Write and give people to proofread for you. Ask them, okay, Vimbeka Bwanja hapa. You can do so many drafts. You can do even 6, 7 drafts. Okay, kachinjeko hapa. Okay, kachinjeko hapa. Because at the end of the day, you want to get a good piece of work, right? And then the last one I would say is re-emphasize just on proofreading your work. Always proofread your work. In our American corners, we have books about how to write, how to apply for scholarships, and how to write letters, how to write academic essays. So I've mentioned that the American corners are free. If you just go to our American corners, there'll be all types of books that will teach you how to write. And don't worry, when you're reading, when you're working on yourself, you don't even realize, you just find that you've improved over time. So it could look like it's something you can't do, but when you start working on it, you know, bit by bit, you improve and you get there. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Nayan. I know we're in the dying minutes of this session. Now, quickly, just before we let you go, how long does an application process take, or how long does it take for someone to get a response, and how can they make a follow-up, or should they make a follow-up, or just sit and wait for the board?
Yeah, so scholarships usually take between, it just depends anyway on the institution you're applying to, but most of them, they'll take 1 month to up to 6 months, maybe 4 months, say, yeah. So because there's so many applications that come in, and each application has to be reviewed individually. We don't want a mass 1,000 applications have come through. Okay, Zaku to Milani next week. So we won't do a good job. People will just be reading fast, just to beat the time. But we want to read every application, to read it nicely, to review it, and to, grade it fairly. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. It's unfortunate that we have to let you go, but we do hope we'll have you sometime soon again. We've learned a lot. We've learned about the types of scholarships. We've learned about the steps and the procedures. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise and your experience with us, Ketty. Thank you so much. Now, what we will do is, if we can just wave at Ketty, even as we are going to let her go, just to show appreciation and just to show that we enjoyed the session. So let's just wave and say thank you.
Thank you. I would also appreciate if you can take a picture, just the way we are. I would like to take a screenshot. And then the people in the watch parties, if you can take some pictures and send them to Melody, and then she can send them to me.
Awesome. I'm sure Melody and when you have taken note of that. So we're taking a selfie, guys. So pause that.
I'll just take it with my phone. Smile, big smiles. All right, thank you so much. So you guys, I hope I'll be able to meet you at some point. I wish you all the best. And I hope those who are coming for the visit here at the American Embassy, we can arrange for that. And then at some point, I hope I can help you guys apply for your scholarships. So before I leave, just a piece of encouragement. Guys, it doesn't matter where uchokela. It doesn't matter where you come from. What matters is where you are going, okay? Where you come from, or if I had to meet you today in the street, it will not matter where you come from. And you didn't choose where you were born, but you can choose where you can go. So when you look at people who have made a difference in life, it's people like you, people like me. They just look like you. They come from communities like you. If we look at our former president, Edgar Lungu, he came from Chawama. It's a compound. When we look at a number of people who have made it in the world, they came from compounds, just like where you're coming from. I've told you my story. So I hope you get encouraged. If you put your minds to something, you can do it. So kwa mine munkala uko osazimvera chifundo ise kapena kube malaiti or kapena ise kuskuru kwati nimaenda kuskuru no kudya ofan kozwacha benamba ya mneute yakwe uchokera, because in the near future we'll meet you as the president, we'll meet you as the minister, we'll meet you as a chima big woman, a chima big man in society, and no one will even know, akanjeka chakamfana ketezo ona kapita apa kombua. Unless wemwine chabe ofuna ukankalire cheo mpua unabadwira uko kwani kapena ni ku John Leng kapena ni ku kalikiliki, but ukankalirira uko nishi problem ni yako apa kulibana sanka kwa na badwira tinaspeza chabe wonseka, but ukankalirira nishi una problem ufanika wachita improve wasakira koenda kwinango makolo wako ngati bana nyumba imozi we vima nyumba olotenu ngankale nafu kwanu ngati kuli wiuba ungagule mamotoka kwanu ngati kuli njinga ungagule ngankala mu 1 room iwo ungankale mu 10 rooms ungachoke compound waenda kuma yard palibe chovuta chano chivuta chabe ni ulesi, you have to work hard mwamvera. So when I meet you nachitoka msana mchinyanja mumvere chitundu chane mumvera. So when I meet you in the next 10 years, say hi. Tikasikumana kuma airport, tikasikumana kuma business meeting, ku parliament. Nikakupeze parade na kamana kako na mamina. Osa mposha no niposha sa kamba Madam Ketty bwanji. I just want those who be working hard, because when you work hard, a lot of opportunities will open for you. So thank you to Melody, Priscilla, Mwenya, O'Brien, and everyone who has participated in organizing this for you. You guys can reach out to me any moment. And you guys who are listening, the watch parties, thank you for listening. I believe in you. I believe in your future. And Zambia is waiting for you guys to come and make the difference. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye. I love you guys.
Thank you. All right, now there you have it, everyone. We had Ketty, who is the Education Outreach Coordinator at the Embassy of the United States right here in Lusaka, Zambia. And she was sharing insights about her line of work and how you can unlock scholarship opportunities. Okay, now I hope we all had a great session. If you joined in late and maybe there are some questions you did not get the answer to, I'm sure this video will be posted either on LinkedIn or YouTube and our Facebook platform. So please, you can still share these videos with someone who you think this might be beneficial to. So Uko, I hope Mwamvela, you're looking at me like you're very hungry. Mwamvela Njalaka. Okay, so now just to end our quote, I'll borrow the words of Nelson Mandela. And Nelson Mandela said, the late Nelson Mandela, he said that education is the most powerful weapon which one can use to change the world. If you want to change the world, if you want to make a difference, ngatufuna onkala president, make sure waenda ku school, make sure you get an education. And thank you so much once again for joining us. I hope that muzankalako next time ngachitankala na career guidance webinar. Muzankalako ka?
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Right. Right.